Hey there, I'm Rayan.
I'm Wilf.
And I'm Sleepy.
And tonight, we're faithful to the... wrong podcast, my bad. Tonight, we're going over episodes 7 and 8 on the Celebrity Traitors. Welcome to episode 54 of It's Just a Game.
I can't wait for 67. So.
Hello and welcome to episode 54 of It's Just a Game, the podcast where we watch reality TV so you don't have to. Every week we go over the best moves, the smartest strategies, and the most insane moments of your favourite reality TV shows. Today, for the penultimate time, we've woken up at this godforsaken hour. It is 7:37 a.m. I want to die. And we're here to discuss the show where we've been there, done that, and got a t-shirt with celebrities. Yes, it's the Celebrity Traitors. Now, you might know us, but if you don't, let's start with some introductions. My name is Rayan, and the only reason I got banished on the Traitors was because they couldn't afford the catering budget. Joining me is the man who's just last week become addicted to board games. It's Wilf. Hello, Wilf. How are you?
I'm getting a bit tired. Went trick-or-treating with the kids last night, and I feel sorry for anybody that lives at number 67 because kids were locking 6-7 going, honestly, I walked past and they were going 6-7 at the door of 67. I was like, yeah, that's horrific. So sorry to anybody.
Is it you, Wilf? Do you live at 67?
No, I don't, thank God.
Wilf was the main perpetrator of that. I'm absolutely certain of it.
Also joining me is a man who knows it all, from the Traitors to Destination X, from Survivor to Naked and Afraid. He's been overthinking about all of it. It's Ivan. Hello, Ivan. How are you?
That's right. I've been naked and afraid all my life, mate. It's kind of my thing.
And so, Ivan, as somebody who's just woken up for this podcast, have you considered taking a glass of water in the morning?
I'm a bit gravelly, aren't I? And to be fair, I have been up for a little bit of time. I was watching some of the wonderful Demon Eyes Blood on the Clock Tower plays on the Blompco YouTube channel. It's very entertaining, especially when I win.
With Naked and Afraid in the background, of course.
No, once again, I was naked and afraid, enjoying their content.
Now, let's get into it. If you have heard us before, you know the drill, but if not, important warning, we are entering a spoiler zone. If you haven't seen episodes 1 to 8 of the Celebrity Traitors, be warned, there are spoilers ahead. If you've seen it all, then get comfortable because there's a lot to be said today. It's been a big week on the Celebrity Traitors. But before we dive deep, because this is the podcast where we watch reality TV, so you don't have to, Ivan is here to remind you everything that you've missed because you were too busy reading memes on Twitter. So, Ivan, dare I ask, what's been going on, Ivan?
I'm glad you asked, Ryan. First of all, look at my lovely tablet that I've got it on this time. Very, very smart.
The budget. Oh, am I paying for this?
Yes.
Yes, this is coming out of the advertising revenue that we get for this podcast. The double digits of advertising revenue that we get.
Yeah, you can just about get like 4 sheets of paper and maybe a pen if we stretch the budget.
All right. Episode 7. Overnight chess. Nick gets a hug. Lucy gets a dead. At breakfast, Jonathan navigates the chessboard interrogation very well by reminding them all that the traitors were there too. Lucy's murder turns up the heat on Kate. Joe's judging everyone on how many theories they raise. Like Magnus Carlsen in that recent butt plug scandal, David wonders if Nick's been getting up to no good on the chessboard. Jonathan and Alan work over Kate, trying to convince... Wilf's Googling Magnus Carlsen butt plugs!
What's a butt plug scandal?
Should I tell you right now, or should I tell you after?
We'll get back to it. We'll circle back.
Okay, lovely. It's going to be great content. Jonathan and Alan work over Kate, trying to convince them to vote for Joe, and that traitors wouldn't vote for each other at this stage. But Kate calls home about the whole conversation, and Joe calls it. She was talking to 2 traitors. Come on, lads. In the cars, Alan tries to convince Kat to vote for Joe too. Don't do it, Kat. In another car, Jonathan sells out the 2 other traitors. The mission is a wobbly bridge cross with a hot seat shield twist. It's wholesome, and Joe gets the shield for going last. David's name is churned up to the surface again, and Celia fails to understand how rumours work. Jonathan once more dredges up Alan's name. Is this his escape plan? Because he bloody needs one. At the round table, Joe once again proves he's the only big dog Here, by directing the conversation, Kat fully sells out Jonathan, Alan jumps aboard, and it's almost unanimous. Jonathan delivers our best banishment speech of the season, but names the wrong podcast, fuming, frankly, and there's a dinner party. Alan must myips once again by doing a ridiculous cheers. Will he ever manage? Episode 8. The dinner party gets totes emotion, but Alan must myips under the closest scrutiny. He does so elegantly, pretending to quote Stephen Fry. Celia is murdered, they learn of the myips over breakfast, and we're down to 6. As the morning progresses, the faithfuls try to figure out how the myips got myipped. Kate Garraway suggests the sun-dried tomatoes. The mission is a Timu Madame Tussauds laser dodge head place. I don't know, I actually fell asleep in this bit, so my memory's a bit blurry. We get a shot of Ryan's favourite bejeweled owl back at the castle, and then the plotting begins. While the castle rounds in on Kate, Nick metters his way to one letter less, Cat. At the round table, Joe also floats his theory that Jonathan voted David as a parting shot, and then David was the only other player not to vote Jonathan. It all lines up. David, in turn, suspects Alan and Kate for raising his name yesterday. And yes, inevitably, Kate is banished. We're at 5 with 2 traitors. Looking good. Until Joe just fully names, cold calls Kat and Alan. If he can align Nick and David, it's GG, pals. They head out to the fire pit, past who I assume is Ed Gamble on a drum, to learn they're in the final 5, and it's a blind game from here. They do declarations of I'm a faithful, and Alan can't do it without laughing. Whoopsie poopsie! And that's where we are now.
Now, let's start with the big topic of this week. The butt plug scandal.
Yeah. Okay, so right, this is great. This is
Just
great.
read it, it's great.
Yeah, so basically, the chess world, it's maybe about a year ago now, but it deserves repeating. The chess world was in absolute disarray when the best player in the world, Magnus Carlsen, who apparently looks a bit like me, stormed out of a game saying that his young opponent was cheating. When asked how, he said he's got a vibrator up his bottom and is being sent messages from outside the game about how to play. And did the guy get banned? I mean, I think they basically found it had happened. I'm pretty sure they found it did.
It's a great way to cheat, though, isn't it?
Well, for 2 reasons. 1, you win the game. 2, you have a great time doing it.
But how do you go and investigate that? Like, who do they have to send some poor employee at like the World Office of Chess or something to say, look, right, I'm really sorry, you're gonna have to bend over and cough now.
They introduced a pre-match ritual where they have to take their trousers down.
Well, on that note, maybe not quite as big topic as the butt plug scandal, but still quite a big topic of this week. Jonathan is gone. They finally get him. It was time. It was inevitable. I mean, people were always going to circle back to the big dog theory, yet it took so long. Why? Why do we think it took so long? Was it luck? Was it celebrities trying to be too nice? Wilf, tell us.
Listen, I don't know why it took so long. Well, I think they were just really bad. But I tell you what, I am always rooting for the traitors all the time, right? And it got to a point where the faithful were that bad. I was like, come on, they have to find one. Please, just find one. Just because if it went 3-3, that's it. The game's basically over if it was 3-3. So they had to find one. And I think it's the shock factor that Ivan was slagging off last podcast. They just kept causing chaos by getting rid of people who had a voice. So people were scared to talk around the table, apart from Joe. And obviously Joe was lucky because he had a shield. But that's what I think it's down to. It's either that. What else do you think it can be to stop them from getting anyone?
I think Jonathan navigated himself really well.
Yeah.
With his big dog theory, I think what he needed to do, and towards the end didn't do this, was just make sure that both he and Stephen were constantly under scrutiny. And I think that's just testament to how much of a interesting and convincing social presence he is. We go back to the big dog theory. It's not just that he's a big celebrity, he's also very convincing. And not to mention, of course, he's got the traitors on his side and they hadn't turned on him at that point. So they were willing to vote in different directions because it's like, well, we're just trying one or the other. But I do think it was inevitable. I think it had to happen at one point. And what I'm more interested in really is, did Jonathan leave on good terms? Did he do anything like a parting gift? Was his attempts at turning on the others in ensuring his team would lose, or actually just an attempt to save himself?
Don't you think it's hilarious that they said parting so many times and gift never came up next. It was like parting shot. Yeah.
Parting shots, yeah.
Parting shot. I guess Jonathan's banishment was inevitable. We knew it was coming. What's great is whether it will have some sort of like delayed domino effect here, because we see this in that episode 7. The traitors have been playing nice the entire time, but in episode 7, they can't anymore. And there's a sort of like really interesting natural division that like happens in episode 7. You can see it's a group of faithfuls, just Nick, Joe, and sort of friends around that,
The
who
Hundies.
unite naturally in the cars, and the traitors are not part of that group. Like, you know, a lot of the time the traitors manage to get themselves into conversations. Kat, Alan managed to get themselves in that sort of like faithful alliance, but not this time. And I think that divide will have a really good impact on the future of the game. I think that banishment will have repercussions. Well, what do you think?
I think it's going to have repercussions because Alan's already had sort of things happen where he's deemed to be a traitor, but nobody feels like they can get enough on him yet. Like, haven't you noticed they've all had Alan in their brain at some point, but they've been scared to bring it up to each other. But Alan, first of all, forgot he had a shield, right?
He's faithful. Yeah, we don't have enough on Alan. The man just laughed when he had to say, I'm a faithful, but when still not sure. The man just walked into breakfast with a cloak, but I'm not still 100%.
Imagine if he won. I mean,
Oh my God, it'd be so funny. But first, like, they've got 2 main points now. They got rid of Jonathan.
Yeah.
They know that 2 traitors would have voted for Jonathan. They've figured that out. And Alan forgot a shield. Forgot he had a shield, and also he just laughed at saying he was a traitor. Like, it's just he has to go. If he doesn't go, I have no idea what's going on.
I think, though, that while we can talk about whether we think either traitor can actually make it to the end, I don't think either of their banishments will be directly out of Jonathan's. So I think if you go back to your original question, Ryan, I don't think Jonathan's banishment is what's going to seal their fate. We've talked about Alan.
Okay.
He's made a lot of mistakes. He's done a brilliant job. He did 3 mipses, if you count the chessboard one. That's the most mips that a traitor has ever done in any season. That's amazing from Alan Carr. And actually, let's talk about his mips later because I'm really impressed by it. But they can't use Jonathan's banishment as a way to get to either traitor. I think what we're looking at here is the fact that Nick has had Kat on his mind the whole time. And what Nick did, and I said he meted his way into it, he went, okay, we know Jonathan. Who would the producers pick to balance Jonathan out?
Yeah.
And so that's maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going to, do you know what, Will? You are wrong. Actually, they did find something out based on Jonathan's banishment. So once again, Will, I would never say something like that.
I don't get, Will, why you'd make that point. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Will, why you'd say that? Because actually, what I think, Will, is that actually, based on pure meta, I think Nick may have used Jonathan to find out Kat. So I take back everything that Wilf said earlier, actually. My point remains strong, which is that yes.
Well, should we do a quick catalogue of the 2 traitors I left and see how we think it goes next for them?
Yes.
And I'm going to start with Alan, which feels like it might be the more obvious one, but in this game, clearly with this group, nothing is obvious.
Yeah.
I think it's just, he's been playing the game really well, surprisingly well. When at that round table, he comes out and says, maybe it's a Jonathan and Joe alliance. This is so good. Because when you think about it, it's a really convincing argument. 2 traitors going at each other. It makes sense. If you're faithful and you don't know better, you could very well get yourself banishing Joe at that round table. It's really smart, and I think that's fascinating. He's good, but there's little mistakes there. The laughing when he has to say he's a traitor. People might still say, it's just Alan to get away with it. But when you're in that final, we know people don't take the risk, and I don't think they will. I don't think they'll make it.
I think what's really nice about Alan saying, Jonathan and Joe are slapping hams at the table, is it gives them a direction for the next banishment. And so this is something I see traitors doing really, really well. And it's something I did to win my little traitors in Northern Ireland the other week, is at the point where you're about to banish someone, link whatever you know the result to be into the next person.
Yeah.
So if you know a faithful's about to get banished, you go, this is a setup. I'm not voting for this. Is a fucking setup, and you're the one doing the setting up. Faithful goes, we all look that way. Or do what Alan did and go, right, I know Jonathan's going here, and Joe's shouting at him. This is 2 traitors slapping hams right here. Once Jonathan goes, we're looking at Joe next because of this conversation. Either way, you're adding the next step in the stepping stones.
Which is so good.
I'm really impressed by this. Yeah, His social reads are terrible. His giggling is awful.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they cannot get to the end of the game without tapping Alan. I think it's over for him. He's played so well, so entertaining. 11 out of 10, good boy.
And so much better than I expected.
Yes, Wilf.
Yeah, so much better, especially after like the first episode. I thought, oh god, he's going to be terrible. So
Yeah.
he's done really well, and I think I've got to take my hat off to Jonathan, because
How many are you wearing, actually? There's a lot of hats.
Yeah, take off your hat. You've got your hat on. You can't say you're taking your hat off and keep your hat on.
should I take both off?
Take at least one of them off, mate.
But Jonathan could have tried to ruin the game, I think. He could have parting gift somehow. He could have thrown direction, but
Yeah.
he did say that the reason he mentioned their name in the daytime was to actually do the opposite of parting gift. So when people left, they were like, who did Jonathan not say? He didn't want that to happen. So he's one of these guys where he's like, the traitors, if the traitors win, I win, which is nice because they've got nothing to lose, right? But in our game, it's like, if the traitors win,
Yeah.
not every traitor wins. So it's like, that's why I think it's going to be harder to predict the ending, just for the fact that he didn't parting gift, and there's still little inklings in people's minds that it might not be Alan and it might not be Kat. But if Jonathan did parting gift, it would have been cemented, I think.
Jonathan just loves the game.
Yeah.
He loves what it's all about. He loves the structure.
He's a proper gamer.
He's a proper gamer. Like, he knows what he's talking about. I love the fact that he's playing for the traitors, even as he's going home. Fair play, mate. Fair play.
So I think we can all sort of agree that Alan is on his way out. Now, Kat is the more controversial one, but
Yeah.
I will tell you 2 reasons why I think she's out. One, you say we can really predict where the final's going, Wilf. I don't agree with you. I think we're going to unfortunately have the exact same thing we had in Series 3 of the civilian version. 2 very strong faithfuls have found each other, Joe and Nick. Together, they're going to go to the final. They're going to keep David on side for part of the final. But at the end of the day, they're not going to allow anyone else to make it to that final 2.
Yeah.
They will take each other together, and they will win together. That's my first reason. The second reason is just thinking about the matter. Look, it stands to reason that there will be at least one female traitor. And the fact is, they've not got rid of every last woman. There is only one woman left. So if there's going to be a female traitor, there can only be one. It's Kat.
I didn't even pick that. I didn't even recognize that.
That's perfect.
Oh,
They can't finish the game without trying Kat.
They have to try Kat,
Yeah.
or they're going to assume, oh, they made all the traitors men. In that game, in the history of that game, when you think about the game, they've watched this show. They know that after Series 2, we never want a bunch of just men traitors in that series.
Yes.
So it has to be.
They'd never make just men from the start, because Claudia was like, more men. You're like,
oh my
that's-
god!
Yes.
You've literally you've solved the game, right? If you was there right now, you'd solve the game.
Yeah, I've solved the game.
And it's nice because they're allowed to do that. Like, we've seen Nick's reasoning being, well, they wouldn't. So I think, like, or even if not saying they wouldn't, just saying, I'm wondering who the traitors might be if Jonathan. So we know that they're allowed to use that reasoning, which is great.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think there's 2 ways the game ends.
It's over.
I think either Alan, David, Kat in that order, or Alan, Kat, David in that order.
Yeah.
Either way, I think at this point, and I wouldn't be sad if this happened, but I think at this point, we are looking at Joe and Nick winning the game. And I think all the other reason why we can see this happening is because quite clearly Joe and Nick were Ejic as the main characters from episode 1.
Yeah.
Noticing that Ejic and seeing the way it's going to go, I think we can be pretty confident at this point.
It's the obvious outcome.
Yeah.
Do you think has there been a point in the show where there hasn't been a murder? And they don't exactly know why there hasn't been a murder, because then one of the narratives can be there was 2 traitors at the beginning and they recruited. So they might think it could be 3 men.
Well, you ask if there's been any point in the show when they didn't know what happened because there was no murder. I can think of at least one point where somebody stands up and say, maybe someone's been recruited.
Oh, yeah. Because they ate a cherry tomato.
But I think most of them then led to a MIPS or to like there'll be a murder today or something.
Yeah.
Has there actually been a day with no murder at all, apart from right at the beginning? I don't think there has.
Does anyone think
think-
Kat survives then?
No.
Oh, do you know what, mate? I just I really, really want a traitor win. I think we're overdue it now. I think, obviously, Harry was the only traitor to win in a British series.
Yeah.
Oh God, have we been hearing about it?
Yeah, and I'm never going to stop hearing Harry's the best traitor of all time, forever and ever.
Oh, man.
I need a traitor win.
Yeah. If either of them can win, it is Kat. But the only way she's going to do it is by playing an impeccable social game on episode 9. So it's going to have to be just absolutely formidable. The first thing she's going to have to do is win over David. Because the way I see it, you've got 2 and 2 with David as the floater.
Yeah.
If Kat can win over David and then they can vote as a block to get out Joe, then they're down to 4, and then Nick is the last one they can pick off because they're on parity. So the only way that Kat wins the game is, I think, with David as the last 2.
Yeah.
Well, the only 100% faithful that's there is Nick Mohammed, right? He's the only one that they all believe basically is 100% faithful. So it all falls on him as well, I think. He's got a big decision to make in the next episode.
The thing is, I think that obviously Nick is 100 faithful. We know that, but he's always going to be in a block with Joe. The deciding vote will be David. He's the one who either goes with Joe and Nick or with Kat and Alan. And that, I think, just determines who wins. Now, we can see from the episodes, he's probably, inching more towards Nick. But actually, he's a viable way, and he does create a chance that Kat does win.
He can't get banished, though, because he's not getting banished in the final 5 because Joe won't vote for him. Kat can't vote for him. David, I don't think, would vote for him. In the final 4, if Joe Marler goes first, which is possible, then there's 4. They could force a tie by both traitors voting for Nick, but by doing so, they'll make it obvious who they are, and they'll risk getting banished in the final 3. So having said what I just said, and again, Wilf, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to call you out on this one. I don't think you're right. I don't think Kat and David can be the final 2. I think you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Nick can. I think Nick has to finish the game from here. But Nick's not letting Kat finish the game. So if the final 3 is Kat, Nick, and David, Kat's gone.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Let's just say who the traitors vote for now is instrumental into how far they get in the final. Because, like you said, Kat, if Kat votes for Nick, then she's gone.
Yeah.
The rest will just click on it. So it's really, they're going to have to do some mad social plays to make it okay for them to vote for whoever. It's just a really dangerous game. Like that, I thought it'd be a lot more powerful having 2 traitors and 3 faithfuls. I thought the traitors would be in such a better place than they are. And I think Alan laughing's just made it really hard for them.
Well, even before Alan laughed, Joe Marler was in his MIV saying, I know who the 2 traitors are and name the 2 traitors. Alan didn't make it any easier for himself. He's gone. But I think they may have won it anyway. The question at that point was, can they convince David? Whereas now it's more like, how the hell does Kat work the numbers to survive? I'm similar to you, Wilf. I've always said this is a game that is biased towards the traitors. And if we look at the global numbers, that's true.
Yeah.
If we do look at the UK numbers, which is admittedly a small sample size, faithfuls win more games than traitors. It's a shame because the game, if we really, really look at it, drill down, it favours traitors, but not today, not this season.
It seems way too obvious the winners.
Yeah.
Like the faithful win in my eyes as like a normal viewer. Do you know what I mean? It's too obvious.
I think the ending is inevitable, though.
They may do the flip turn. They may do the fade or whatever it's called on episode 9. When at breakfast you see Nick, you see like David and Nick talking about maybe it's Joe, and then the whole episode you go through thinking they're not going to get him.
I don't want it to be as obvious as what it is in my brain. That's all I'm thinking. I'm like, I don't want it to be the faithful, basically.
Yeah, that's fair. Can we talk about the dinner party? We know Studio Lambert loves a dinner party. We got a MIPS. We got a dinner party MIPS. We'll talk about the MIPS itself, but first, Ivan, is now a good time to dive back into our prediction game, the Tentacle Action Consequences?
Absolutely. Tentacle Action Consequence is hitting its zenith. We've had some more results come in. So the first one was that there will be a dinner party. Now, this was Ryan's prediction. We all said true on this, and it was true. So congratulations, everybody.
But mostly
there was
me.
a dinner party for the first time ever
Hey.
on a Studio 11 reality show. But yeah, well done to Ryan. The next one, which is very interesting and has now been resolved, is Jonathan Ross will go full Wilfred Webster and backstab at least 2 traitors, and then in brackets, plant seeds or lead charge. Now, despite the fact that he named them both in the same breath in the car, I think we can all agree he did not go full Wilfie Dubs here. This was not a Wilfie Dubs situation. This was very much him just kind of covering his back, which means that we have to say false on this one. Now, both of you said true. I said false, and I think the reason I gave was that he might not last that long and only get 1 in. He didn't get any in. He was a loyal, faithful to the traitors all the way to the end. Is that a good impression?
That's quite decent, actually. Yeah, I see it.
Faithful. How much do you think the Faithful to the Traitors podcast paid Jonathan Ross to plug their podcast? And how much do you think we have to pay?
I just knew they were gassed.
Oh my God, I would have been. And I'm happy for them. I am happy for them.
No,
I just hope he says,
they are friends of the podcast. I do really like them.
Just hope when Alan Carr gets sent home, he goes, my tradar's been off the scale.
Do you know what? It's weird because Studio Lambert are now going to write a rule that you're not allowed to say that.
That's a podcast. Oh, just say it wrong. You mean just saying it wrong? Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, saying it wrong.
Yeah.
But that's why they've only been saying it's only a game. If somebody says it's just a game, it's been cut out.
We're quids in, mate. We're quids in.
Yeah, we're quids in.
Yes, so that's all we've got so far. There's a few more that could still happen, incredibly unlikely. The first one is, in fact, we can take this out. There will be a double banishment twist and not in the final. We're there. We're at the final. It's not happened. So that's false. So I'll add that one into my little spreadsheet. And don't worry, it automatically scores it because I'm a nerd. So the scores we're at right now, assuming the other ones end up being false, are Ivan 6, Ryan 3, Wilf 3. Now, we look back to our winner picks because this is where it's going to get spicy. Me and Wilf picked Kat. Ryan, you picked Joe Marler. So that could be a massive change.
Oh my God.
And we did say that was worth 2 points as well. Or did we say it was worth 4? We'll have to listen back.
I think that's worth 10. Let's hit 10.
Joe Marler's a really good shout.
But right now, I am in the lead. We will see. We'll come back. And it will be one of our Jaggies, of course. So if you're listening for next episode, it is time for our annual Jaggy Awards, where we award all sorts of awards to our favourite players and to ourselves as well, because we're very self-congratulatory on this podcast. But yeah, I'm winning right now.
That's our payment for the podcast.
Giving ourselves awards.
That's how we get paid. Give ourselves awards.
Yeah, no. I still have a week to make a tweet that gets 5,000 likes about Claudia's outfits. So
What's the closest you've had so far?
well, I haven't tweeted this week because I was busy. I was at a competition that's named after a drink nobody's ever seen in a shop, a Carabao. If you indulge.
I drunk one once. It was horrible.
Is it a thing? I can't. I've never seen it.
It's the worst.
Ryan, if you want to do a viral thread about Claudia's outfits, do Claudia's outfits next to Miss Piggy wearing an amazing outfit that's exactly the same. It'll take a lot of Googling, but do a thread of Claudia's outfits and then next to Miss Piggy wearing the same clothes. I think probably that'll get you 5,000 likes.
I believe if you spend that much time Googling Miss Piggy, you automatically go on a watch list.
That's true, actually.
That's
how I got on a watch list.
Yeah. But let's talk about the MIPS then, because we get a dinner party MIPS. I mean,
Yes.
for starters, let's talk about the pick of Celia, because I thought that was brilliant, because Celia is such a good faithful. She was so cemented and she was so liked that I was like, if I'm a faithful in there, I'm going to be rattled all day. I'm going to be spending so much time being devastated. I'm not going to spend enough time thinking about who's a traitor for the next round table. And I thought that was quite smart. It wasn't random. It was not spontaneous. It was smart. Wilf, would you say we're spontaneous?
It reminded me of Andrea a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember when we murdered Andrea, it caused a lot of weird emotions in the castle, and because she was 100% faithful, everybody knew she was 100% faithful, so she had to be murdered because she couldn't go around the table. Like, it just wasn't going to happen. And I think with Celia, unfortunately, she was never going to get banished around the table, so she had to be murdered, and they couldn't murder Joe. So, because he had a shield, right? So she was the logical pick, I think. Her or Nick would have been the logic.
I wonder, how they decided, or how Alan and Celia decided to sit together, or if it was totally random, or if it was actually like Alan went, my pick to kill is Celia. Can you make sure I'm sitting next to her? Because you can't cheers with a person like across the table from you. So either he didn't have a choice and it was just of the sort of three people nearest to him, he had to pick one of them, or actually he went to have a discussion and went, I want to kill Celia, please make it possible for me. I don't know which one it was. But either way, I'd like to think he had that free choice. I think it was the right person to go for. And I think the way he did it was so brilliant, because parting is such sweet sorrow. It's like those words will never escape Alan Carr's lips. And so the way he his little testimonial, the way he drew it back to all the people we've had, Stephen, he'd say something like parting. It's just so clever. Alan Carr, what a genius. That's just so good.
I feel so bad for him. He keeps getting the MIPS, though. It's like, if I'm a traitor, like in a civilian version, and Kat comes to me and says, yeah, you're doing the MIPS again, I'd just be like, nah, fuck this. Nobody's dying tonight. I'm not blooding my hands 2 days before the final again.
I do have a question about that. Because what happens if you just refuse to MIPS?
Then nobody dies.
I can tell you by my MIP, from the MIPS that we did, that we was told if we didn't, we'd lose a murder, basically. So that's what we were told. If we didn't MIPS it, there would be no murder.
I think the vast majority of people presented with the challenge to cheers someone and say parting is such sweet sorrow would be like, hell no, I'm not doing that. So the fact he did
2 days before the final.
I mean, come on.
Mate, see, I couldn't MIPS that because I just wouldn't be able to get the words right.
That's what I mean. And I think they had to. It was a really good challenge, but the fact that Alan had figured out a way to get round those words that didn't sound like, and by making it basically sound like it would come out of Stephen's mouth, it's really. I think 90% of people would just give it up. Like, fuck it.
No.
Right, here's my new recurring segment. I've got this new obsession at night time about putting quotes into Chat GPT and saying, turn this into British slang, right? That's my new thing. It's brilliant. So I've just put parting is sweet sorrow in Chat GPT and told it to convert it to British slang. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Casual London vibe, gutted to bounce, but it's still kind of nice. Leaving's peak, but it's that sweet feel, innit? Sorry, that's my new obsession. It's fun.
That sounds much more like what Alan would say.
Right, I think that's enough talking about the traitors then. Should we spend a few minutes talking about the faithful? Just because I think I need to give a clap of the week, and I think I need to get what's the opposite of a clap? A park. I'll be giving a park of the week.
A park, yeah.
Should we start with the park of the week?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think Kate Garraway deserves for her entire contribution, for her entire work, a park of the week. The shite of the week, maybe.
Well, hang on a minute.
No, I'm sorry. I mean,
have you ever heard the phrase "shit in your hands and clap"?
Well, let's all do that now.
Shit in your hands and clap of the week.
That's why I asked all of you to have lactose last night before dinner. It's time for my new segment, shit in your hands and clap. No, but think about maybe someone's been recruited. Then in a mission, she's got this weird logic where she's like, yeah, I'm going to give Alan a shield. She's giving the only other sus traitor a shield. Then in episode 7, she walks into breakfast and she's like, do you think she's at some point, do you think she started accusing the cameraman? I don't know. The way I feel about Kat Garraway is the exact same way as everyone felt when she walked into breakfast in episode 7. It's how in episode 8. It's the way I would feel if I saw Kate Garraway walking to breakfast. There's not an ounce of joy on my face at the prospect of seeing her.
Do you know what's so funny? It's the fact that she knows she's there because she's so shit as well. You can see it. She's like, yeah, I know I'm really just shit at this game. That's why I'm here.
Kat says that you're just a bad faithful or a traitor, but also you've missed the crowning achievement, which is the sun-dried tomato.
Oh my God, it was so bad. Did you have sun-dried tomatoes then, Alan? Yeah. Who had the sun-dried tomato? I was like, fucking shut up, man.
So a singular palk.
Let's give a singular palk in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Kate.
Wow.
We barely knew you.
Can I give an honourable mention when I'm here?
Yeah.
Yep.
David is lovely, but at breakfast when he goes, oh, maybe the murder was Jonathan during the day who did the MIPS. That's not how the word goes. In that round table, when everyone votes for Jonathan, it couldn't be more obvious. He's the only one who doesn't vote for Jonathan. David is lovely, but he does not have, he's incredibly smart, but he's not social read smart, and it shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you just go for Jonathan. You just know everyone. He's like, I'm going to stick to who I believe could be. And it's not the way to go, is it? It's just not.
Also, some point during the season, his glasses have got bent. And I can't look at him without being like, mate, straighten up. Come on. Straight. Because they're literally on like a 30-degree angle. They're really, he's bent he must have slept in them or something. It's honestly like, mate, come on.
It's hard to find an optician.
You can't find an optician. Well, I heard a really interesting, there's a really funny story by Claudia about like, she needed to have a physio during this filming of this series. Yeah. And she was told not to speak to the physio. And she figured out the reason why is because it was a vet physio that was just been like doing back massages on horses. Maybe it's the same for David. They got him like a horse optometrist instead of an actual one.
Well, we all know Inverness is a weird place. Like they don't have funeral directors or nothing in Inverness, do they? So like, they don't have opticians.
There's a big Tesco.
They've got a Lincoln. They've got Abraham Lincoln funeral director. We know this.
But no, so that's all sort of like Bat Faithfuls.
Yeah.
But before we get on to Nick, do we think anyone else would deserve the title of Best Faithful of the series?
Not even close.
No,
not even close. Those two are.
It's just like he's incredible.
I what we've seen from Joe needs to be, if not studied, then modelled by other faithfuls, which is being a powerful, dominant presence, which doesn't work for everyone, but it's certainly worked for him.
And they're very funny, which helps with your when you're playing social deduction games. Having a bit of having a really good sense of humour gets you really far. Like Nick, you know, even the part they're going to have a dinner party, and he walks out, he goes, "A dinner party now? I've just had a lasagna." Like, things like that just keep people happy, and they want to keep people like that in as well. And same with Joe Marler. I never had a clue who really he was before this, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really follow rugby. He's hilarious. I watched The Wheel as well the other night. Was it last night? And he was really funny on that as well. Like really funny.
He's made for life now. His post rugby career. I don't know how long it's been since he played. I think he's like younger than me. I think he's 35 and I'm 36. He's made.
He went onto The Wheel and his subject was jobs. And they went, "Why have you picked jobs?" He went, "Well, I'm looking for one." He went, "Well, I'm not a rugby player anymore and I haven't got a job, so..."
He'll be fine. He's so funny.
Yeah.
He's lovely to look at. He seems like a really nice guy. Like this, I feel like coming out of this, you know, you don't think about celebrities increasing their star power, really. But he has. And I think Kat Burns has as well. I think Ruth Codd has. I think it's really exciting to see that people have come out of this like even more famous than they went in because this show has that power.
And now I've got a job offer for Nick because this man is clearly gifted at sliding under lasers. So Nick, hear me out, is going to be me, you, in a construction truck in Paris. Okay?
I knew you was going to bring this up.
A little ladder, maybe.
A little ladder and some high-vis jackets. We go in, we smash it all, and then we get arrested at the football stadium.
Did they get them? Sorry, I'm intrigued. Did they get them?
Yeah, no, they got arrested just on the concourse of a football game. It wasn't even a good one. They wanted to go and see Paris FC.
Well, with all the jewels hanging around their neck. Let's go and celebrate.
Now, I do have one concern for Nick, though, which is that like, he keeps doing this little gas thing where like he opens his mouth. I'm just like... You're in Scotland. Tomorrow, we're going to be at the fire pit. You're going to do this. You're going to have a mouthful of mosquitoes, and you're going to realise why you don't do this on the Traitors.
That's good. That's really funny. Is that your impression of him?
Yeah, and he went. Did you see the picture? He went really cross-eyed at one point as well when he was shocked.
Yeah.
I was sent a picture. He just went all cross-eyed. He was so shocked. His eyes just went, "What the fuck's going on here?"
He wasn't shocked. He was keeping one eye on Kat and one eye on Jonathan. That's it.
No, bless him though. What an amazingly likable guy. Like you can't help but watch this show and be like, Nick, I want to be your friend. He's so nice.
Brilliant. Right. Should we give it a quick prediction then? How do we think the ending is going to go?
Yeah.
In a few words, what do you think happens? We've touched on that, but what do you think happens in the end? I want one basic prediction on how the ending goes and one really random prediction with something you think might happen, but that's completely random. That's not to do with the game in the last episode.
Okay.
Wilf.
I can't see anything but a faithful win at this point, unless there's a last minute twist. But I really want there to be a traitor win. Like I think we're overdue one. I'm overdue one mentally. So I just really want the traitors to win. In terms of an ending that could just go mad, is they bring everybody back and everybody votes. Everybody comes back to the game because they're celebrities and like we've got to use them as long as we can. That's it. That's my predictions. Yeah.
Ivan.
Faithful win, 2 faithfuls, one of them being Nick, is my prediction.
Mhm.
And my wild prediction is that Claudia, with about 10 minutes to go, goes, hang on, I'm a celebrity. Surely I can play too. And then steps in and votes to continue the vote and votes out
Like that.
someone else.
My prediction is that Joe and Nick band together. They get David on side. They start voting out Alan. Then they vote out Kat. Then they vote out David. And Joe and Nick win together. My wild prediction is that somehow there's a helicopter ride involved in the final.
Oh, that's never going to happen, Ryan.
That's not going to happen, mate. That's so wild, mate.
No, Ryan.
In Inverness, there's no helicopters up there.
Yeah.
And somehow, no, there'll be a helicopter ride, and somehow it still won't seem that dramatic.
No. It was just because they're always so happy in there. They're not looking scared. They was like, yeah, I can't believe I'm in a helicopter.
Mate, I screamed the whole time. I shit myself. The thing is, the helicopter for celebrities is quite normal for them. So they'll just be in there like, yep, we're just flying somewhere.
Just doing the Wordle.
But yeah, that's our predictions on episode 7 and 8 of the Celebrity Traitors.
Let's do a Wordle. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it is.
Just sitting in there. That's great. Great filming. They'll be like, guys, can you talk? No, we're just doing this.
But right, should we come back next week to find out who gets the final Wordle in 4 or less?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's come back.
And of course,
Yes.
next week it is time for our Jaggies. I've already mentioned it, but you know it's the highlight of my year. It's Jaggy time.
If anyone who doesn't know what the Jaggies are,
Listen to the episode.
we're just going to find out. Yeah, listen to the episode. I'm not going to tell you. I will not tell you here about the It's Just a Game Awards ceremony that we've named the Jaggies. If you want to know what the Jaggies are, you've got to have to come back and listen.
Yeah, it's very mysterious.
Until then, make sure you subscribe, give us a like, a little comment, a 5-star review. We see you on YouTube there. Thank you for following us on YouTube. If you follow us on YouTube,
Thanks.
follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcast or your podcast app, because sometimes it's not on YouTube, okay? But until then, my name is Ryan, and you can follow me at Kate Garraway, more like Kate Go Away.
My name's Will. You can follow me at Dinner Pie. I've just had a lasagna.
My name's Ivan, and you can follow me in bed in 10 seconds as soon as we stop the recording.
And from all of us here, it's see you next week, and goodbye.
Bye-bye, driver.
Good night, driver.
Bye-bye. Good
night,
night,
driver. Oh no, the driver's asleep.